NRG versus Toronto Defiant. Most would have assumed that Toronto would take this upper finals match easily, but NRG put up a surprising fight, eventually able to turn the momentum of the match and reverse sweep the Defiant. For today's video though, we'll be taking a closer look at the second map of the series, Shambali Monastery, where Toronto began to show weakness. NRG start on defense, Toronto are on attack. At first, Toronto walk out on the standard Ana Brig backline, but after taking a quick look at NRG's composition, Vega swaps over to Lucio. Something important to note is that this match was played during Stage 3, so Juno was not permitted for play at this time. Anyways, Ana Lucio is a more aggressive version of the Ana Brig backline. Lucio can assist more with dives and allow Ana to reposition faster. This comes at the expense of less protection for Ana. Vega knew that this would work out though because NRG aren't running Tracer, they only have a Diva which is relatively manageable. Running Brig would be a waste of resources. NRG's composition is interesting. Ana Alari is a backline susceptible to dives. It is greedy, and instead of playing for better dives like Ana Lucio, Ana Alari plays for outright pressure through damage and angles. NRG also have attack on Diva, and this makes sense as this allows attack to play more defensive and assists the fragile backline when needed. The final interesting choice is Tree's Mei. Mei is specifically strong on this section of Shambali because the upper defensive space is very small and enclosed. This is the perfect environment for Mei. Tree can look for walls to split someone from his team, and he is able to take 1v1s with Sugar Free on Tracer if needed. In this composition, Mei is kinda like a second tank that acts as another layer of protection for the backline. We'll be focusing on Tree with this Shambali defense. To begin our first fight, attack holds down the corner. As the defending team, preventing cart progress is key to holding this first section of the point effectively. If your opponent gets the cart too far, they can flip the map as I've demonstrated in my Ana Juna video. Someone attempts to push the cart a bit before Ultraviolet's nade force them to back away. Toronto Defiant need to take things slow. Someone advances once again, walking at attack and throwing down the bubble. Someone isn't jumping in because he can close the distance comfortably by foot and wants to hold on to the jump for the disengage. Now, Tree makes a clever move, walling someone off from his backline. Now, someone must make a choice. And yes, this Winston player named himself someone. Please do not complain about this in the comments because it's not my fault. I didn't name him, please. Someone can A, wait for the wall to break and attempt to survive, B, jump over the wall but be stuck in an awkward position, or C, walk the opposite direction and escape through the enclosed side lane. Someone's choice was option C. He realizes that it is his best chance at survival. A and B would most likely result in getting poked out and dying. Attack chases and someone is just barely able to escape. Toronto quickly shift their strategy, now looking to advance up the staircase onto the high ground. PGE lands a great dynamite though, which slows the speed of the engage slightly. Someone in Sugar Free approach from main, while the core of Toronto, Ana Lucio Ash, move up the staircase in an attempt to pinch. Once again, Tree makes his move, walling Toronto's core away at the right exact moment, completely blocking RuPaul's LOS of someone. This singular wall causes Toronto's entire game plan to fall apart, and now NRG can take advantage of the weakness created. Someone becomes an easy target, focused down, and easily eliminated. After that, NRG are able to clean up, taking the first fight. Toronto take their time to set up again, and someone jumps onto the cart alongside Merritt's dynamite. Usually Winston jump engages will be timed with Ana nades or Ash dynamites. I believe the idea of this jump was to create just a bit of space and draw attention while Toronto's core set up, but it goes terribly wrong. Someone dies before he can even react and uses bubble, forcing Toronto to wait for his return. Now, Toronto can properly set up for their nano engage. This is dangerous for NRG as their backline is especially fragile, but Tree does have an answer. To start this fight, Tree plays with Ultraviolet and Cal, acting as a preventative measure. He has the Blizzard and can use it to counteract someone if he steps without thinking. As expected, RuPaul nanos someone and he jumps over the wall right on top of Ultraviolet. Tree is able to react quickly though, almost instantly freezing someone in place. Ultraviolet throws the anti onto someone and also nanos PGE, who can finish the kill. This nano was likely a split-second decision to assure that NRG secure the fight, which is why it wasn't super optimal. Sugar Free does land a pulse into Vega, but the fight is over and Toronto must reset. I know I did say that I would give PGE his redemption, so consider this play to count towards that. Toronto Defiant set up for another dive, same goal, to get on top of the backline. Merritt opens the fight with Bob, and someone makes his initial jump. RuPaul turns the corner on the staircase, landing an anti onto Tree and PGE. Tree manages to throw down a wall blocking RuPaul's LOS for a moment, and PGE throws the Bob in an attempt to survive and force someone in RuPaul away. PGE also hits the coach gun perfectly, throwing someone right back over the wall, saving his own life. In all of this chaos, RuPaul didn't see where the bob went because his LOS was blocked by the wall, so he walks right into the bob and dies before he can react. PGE also receives insane peel from Ultraviolet and is able to finish sugar-free, ending the fight. Well, actually, PGE's raw aura keeps this fight going because Merit just had to peek the undisputed GOAT to give him one more closing kill. PGE's aura is so massive he can mind control Toronto Defiance players. Going into fight number 4, Toronto Defiant are a bit more familiar with how NRG want to take these fights, and they play accordingly. Someone moves through the staircase, performing a quick setup jump to bait the wall. Although someone could go directly in and still live with Primal, he understands that he can get full value out of the Primal if his backline can actually participate in the fight. Tree does throw down the wall to split someone, but he's very aware that someone has the Primal, so he can't really push someone inside of his bubble. NRG also understand that Toronto are about to get aggressive, and they understand that they won't be able to stop beating Primal, so they try to make the first move to force Toronto's resources early. Cal uses the Captive Sun, which catches the backline of Toronto and forces Vega's beat. The beat doesn't hit Merit, who dies shortly afterwards. Toronto do continue to advance. They have the advantage of pressure in this fight. RuPaul lands a nade onto PGE, who is finished by Vega. Ultraviolet nanos Tree in an attempt to keep him alive long enough to build Blizzard, and Tree does take down RuPaul but isn't able to stop someone from primaling Ultraviolet in the room. Toronto are able to clean things up, and they finally take a fight. But things aren't going to be easy going into next because Tree has that Blizzard available. PGE swaps over to Bastion, and someone instantly sees this. NRG are going to attempt to force Toronto off the point with brute force. Someone runs back to spawn, swapping over to Ramatra. The idea is that Ramatra, alongside RuPaul's Nano, should be able to survive through Tree's Blizzard. This isn't guaranteed, but it's the best Toronto can offer going into overtime. This fight begins with Toronto turning the corner and someone holding things down. Ultraviolet lands a perfect nade, and in conjunction with a nade from PGE, they almost manage to pick off Vega, who barely survives. PGE then advances Bastion form, looking to capitalize off of this play. Sugarfree responds with a quick pulse to try and get rid of PGE, but Cal, who had made a seemingly random swap over to Baptiste, is able to use Immortality to save his life. At the same time, someone advances, expecting a nano to allow him to finish PGE, but the nano never came, and someone's health bar practically disappears. Tree had walled RuPaul off from someone, so the nano couldn't come through. Tree throws down the Blizzard, and the fight quickly came to a close, with NRG managing a full hold of the strongest team in NA, Toronto Defiant.
Oh, what a nade! Definitely not as easy to dive. The nade is huge!
Mary's going super low as well. Vega was 1 HP. Luckily, managed to get out of there. Post bomb landed. It was a connection, but the lamp was there to save PGE. Someone's dead! And they don't touch either. Toronto Defiant held on the second corner by NRG Shock.
On their attack, NRG also struggled. Honestly, NRG never really found a foothold. They almost managed to flip the map, but someone in RuPaul shut it down instantly with a Nano Winston play that caused Tree to spontaneously combust. After that, we also witnessed a brutal stagger because attack decided the fight was winnable, even though it wasn't.
Oh. Yeah, the stagger here on attack. It's going to be a pretty long one too. It's 1 minute and 50 seconds. That was a good, like, what, 20, 30 seconds or so.
And of course, PGE throws Bob at his demons, and things only go downhill in the final few fights for NRG. Cal dies before he's even able to use the Captive Sun. Attack uses Diva Bomb in a desperate attempt to remech, and in the final fight, someone just casually hits a 4K with the Nano Primal. Toronto managed to hold NRG right back, meaning Toronto is up 2-0 in this series.
Cal is just booped away. They've done it, and of course they will. Toronto Defiant getting the fuller hold. Were you worried? Were you worried?
The story doesn't end here on Shimbali though, as this match would go all the way to a map 5. PGE is subbed out for the third map, and a full Winston mirror dogfight ensues. After a back and forth map, NRG just barely pull through, and a final fight carry from Scissors and Kellen allow NRG to take their first map away from the Defiant. PGE comes back in for hit scan on Blizzard World, and for this map, Cal and Attack were dominating. Yes, PGE may have thrown Bob at his demons, more than once, but Attack was locked in, and NRG were able to pull through. PGE did actually do a cool thing here. One cool thing. First, he tries to grapple. Okay, that missed. We'll get to it. Then he tries to grapple again. Okay, that missed again, but it's okay. But in overtime, PGE goes for the flank and is able to somehow land 2 clean headshots. I have no words. I don't know what this guy's on. The match moves on to a map 5, and NRG dominate in a Winston mirror, running Lucio Curie rather than Ana Brig. This last map was interesting because it felt like Toronto could never find their footing. They even went as far as mirroring NRG in a desperate attempt to make something happen. In the end, NRG take Flashpoint 3-1 and win the entire match in a reverse sweep. So, out of all these maps, why did I cover Shambali? My feeling was that NRG's defense on Shambali really was quite impressive, and there were also plenty of interesting moments. Tree had some great walls, PGE's Bob actually did something, and we had some interesting last-minute swaps, such as Cal's swap over to Baptiste because he was expecting the Pulse Bomb. NRG might not have taken the map because their attack was disjointed and fell apart, but that doesn't change the fact that they definitely began to realize during this map that the Defiant were beatable. NRG might have taken this match, but Toronto met them back in the grand finals and swiftly 4-0'd them. The match wasn't even competitive in the end. Toronto Defiant remained the most consistent team in North America, having won every OCS stage in the region. Unfortunately, NA is a region lacking talent and severely lacking money. Toronto is also the only team getting paid a decent amount, so they can afford to have their 2 Korean imports as well as the best talent in NA. That's it for this video. This was a shorter one and covering an older match. I figured I would give you all a quick break from Juno and show some different compositions and styles of play. We could be in a Brig Juno meta until the end of the season, so future videos might be covering similar compositions for a while. Static metas do suck at times, but they can also be interesting, and I'll do my best to make them interesting for all of you. If you want updates on future videos and to get notified, make sure to check out my Discord. We also have some cute team emotes that you can use to rep your favorite team. Make sure to check out the second channel as well. The goal is to put out 2 to 3 videos a week over on that channel, so subscribe if you want more Ocie content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.